Today, we're going to talk about Cesky Krumlov. UNESCO has designated Cesky Krumlov, a remarkable medieval town in the Czech Republic, as a World Heritage Site. Cesky Krumlov is well known for its picturesque setting, which includes a large castle built in the style of Walt Disney World. Due to the town's extraordinary ability to preserve historic structures, it has remained unchanged since the 14th century. Spend 2 days discovering every aspect of this enchanted city and all that Cesky Krumlov has to offer. What is that? Well, let's have a look at the top 5 things that you can do while in Cesky Krumlov. Number 5. Explore Cesky Krumlov's castle and castle gardens. The enormous Cesky Krumlov castle complex, the largest in Eastern Europe, towers over the old town and provides an intriguing window into the aristocratic lords of Bohemia throughout the ages. Although the buildings date back to 1240, much of what is visible today, including the exquisite Rosenberg Ballroom, the magnificent Chapel of St. George, the Renaissance Hall, and the royal apartments, was constructed in the 17th century. The opportunity to see a variety of significant collections of paintings, tapestries, and exquisite period furnishings is a highlight of a trip to this UNESCO World Heritage Site. Be ready for some walking, especially if you visit the nearby historic Cloak Bridge, as the site includes 40 structures and palaces, 5 castle courts, and the lovely 27-acre castle garden. The castle's magnificent Baroque theater, which was built in 1682 and still uses stage props from the 18th century, is another noteworthy aspect. Climbing to the top of the theater's tall bell tower for the breathtaking views of the city is one of the best things to do while touring the castle. For a few good hours, you can occupy yourself with the enormity of the castle and the beauty of its gardens. A quick visit to the charming castle garden is something that you shouldn't skip in Cesky Krumlov. This hidden gem is overlooked by many visitors, which is unfortunate because it is one of the city's most interesting locations. The upper area of the castle grounds is home to the Baroque garden, which dates back to the 17th century. Here, as you stroll, you'll pass century-old linden trees, lovely flower beds, and charming statues. The fountain, a stunning Rococo cascade font, is the focal point of the garden. Number 4. Take a walk on the Cloak Bridge. The Cloak Bridge is a part of the Krumlov Castle, but due to its extraordinary appearance, it is regarded as a separate city attraction. The deep gorge is elevated by the Cloak Bridge. It connects the castle's 4 main courtyards with the 5th courtyard, which is perched atop a nearby rock. It has 5 tiers. The Cloak Bridge was constructed in 1767, and its lower portion resembles the Roman aqueduct greatly. The building was constructed by the standards of medieval fortification. The bridge is known as the Bridge to Plastic in Czech. One version claims that the term plash was used to describe the fortifications during the Middle Ages. The Cloak Bridge measures 30 meters in length and 40 meters in height. On the upper portion of the bridge, 2 closed galleries are built above an open crosswalk. The Baroque theater and the Masquerade Hall were connected by the lower closed gallery. The aristocracy and the castle owners had exclusive access to the upper gallery. There's a way out from the castle's photo gallery in the park. It is possible to move through the bridge's lower section. It provides the most stunning view of Czech's Krumlov's historical district. The most picturesque views of this medieval town can be found here. On the Cloak Bridge, you will find the sculptures of 4 Christian saints: John of Nepomuk, Felix of Cant Alicia, Wenceslas, and Anthony of Padua. Surprisingly, it took 100 years to complete, which will make all the sense when you will go visit it. Number 3. Get yourself spooked at the Museum of Torture. We all agree that Prague is one of Europe's most beautiful cities. It also has a more intriguing and eccentric side that is full of bizarre and unusual things. However, did you know that Prague also had a more sinister side, with tourist attractions that would only appeal to those with strange and more eccentric tastes? If this interests you, visit the Museum of Medieval Torture Instruments, which is conveniently located in Prague's Old Town Square, next to the Charles Bridge, the astronomical clock, and several other top tourist destinations. Visit a one-of-a-kind exhibition in the cave-like cellars on Soletna Street. More than 100 exhibits, historical engravings, and wax figures that adequately depict how the torture tools were used are dispersed over a 400-square-meter area. There, you will also find heavy iron masks that the criminals were compelled to wear for a set period. Wherever they went, people would recognize them by their masks, and so they would receive unfavorable treatment. Some of these masks had sharp spikes inside that pierced the people wearing them. The atmosphere is improved by audio-visual effects that give you the impression that you are actually in the audience, spooked, watching a witch being burned, or peering under the executioner's hand. The Museum of Medieval Torture Instruments is not for people with weak hearts. Even though it's fascinating, it serves as a sobering reminder of how cruel people can be to one another. And as you examine the gadgets and read about their usage, you might even start crying, contemplating how someone could have subjected someone to such horrific punishment and torture. Number 2. Rafting at the Vltava River. As you raft down the Vltava River and pass gorgeous architecture, Cesky Krumlov is a fairy tale town and best enjoyed from the water. Just a few steps away from the castle, you can board a raft and travel downstream to Cesky Krumlov, another idyllic town with a unique old town. You'll pass by the town of Zalta Korono and its ancient monastery on the way. And you'll have a chance to pause at snack shops along the waterfront to grab a bite to eat or a cold beverage. Local transportation providers will take you upstream to the town of Vybrod, so you can travel downstream to Cesky Krumlov for a more immersive experience. This is a more challenging trip that can last up to 7 hours because the river is teeming with shallow rapids that call for powerful paddling and expertise in navigating a variety of built-in ramps. It is also possible to explore the waters of Cesky Krumlov on a wooden raft, if the rapids seem a little too intimidating. Summertime evening cruises for tourists provide a calm view of the castle and the surroundings while passing through Old Town. Water sports are extremely popular among the Czechs, and Cesky Krumlov is no exception. There are numerous canoe-kayak shops where you can rent a boat, go on a tour, and spend the day exploring the river. You can customize the journey to be as long or as short as you like, because each shop has a variety of packages to offer. Number 1. Visit the Minorite Monastery in Cesky Krumlov. The Minorite Monastery was founded in Cesky Krumlov in 1350, with the primary goal of undermining the Walden movement, a Christian movement that was, at the time, gaining popularity in Europe. The Waldensians encouraged apostolic poverty, which the Rosenbergs didn't agree with. The royal family enjoyed indulgences of all kinds, including spiritual ones. The royal family used the monastery to gather relics after that, and they eventually began to compete with Prague for festivals and religious artifacts. The grounds of the monastery were intended for contemplation. In a calm courtyard, shady benches, and lush lawns beckoned visitors to pause and unwind. You can view 2 exhibits in the monastery with access provided by the Cesky Krumlov card, giving you a glimpse of how Minorite monks have been carrying out their duties and living their lives over the years. A whole room is devoted to St. Francis of Assisi and features an audio-visual presentation as well as panels of illustrations illustrating his life and how he became a saint. The only problem is that it's all in Czech, so either bring a translator or just enjoy the animations and illustrations before learning more about St. Francis. While a day trip to Czech Krumlov is certainly feasible and practical, spend at least one night in the town so that the next morning you can begin your explorations early and get to see the most out of your visit. How was this video helpful for you in planning your trip to Cesky Krumlov? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, where to next?